All right, let's go ahead and start. Today we're talking about the Oklahoma City Thunder and their upcoming offseason. We got their cap sheet pulled up currently, so let's just go ahead and just jump right on into it. When we talk about the Thunder and their offseason, we do have to address what currently has happened with them. They made the trade for Kemba Walker and traded away Al Horford's contract along with Moses Brown. They were able to get I believe it was the 16th pick from Boston. And, now they're kind of in that same position of they have a big contract, but yet they don't have too much of too much talent on the team. Obviously, they have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They're a rebuilding team, and everybody's kind of modeling the way they do things with how Oklahoma City has done it. Get a lot of picks and be able to bring in these young players. They saw some highlights last year from some of these young guys. Notable players would be Alexei Pokusevsky, Darius Baisley, Kenrich Williams came in, provided some good minutes for the Thunder. Lou Dort, Isaiah Roby. So they have these young pieces that are able to be a part of the team, and provide a lot of this young depth. But at some point, you kind of think that the Thunder must have something in their back pocket to be able to trade for a star. Ben Simmons has been a name that's been thrown around a little bit, but ultimately, it is going to be interesting to see what they decide to do moving forward. So looking at their cap sheet here, we can obviously see, let's see here, majority of their money is being taken up by Kemba. But after that, obviously there is the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander extension. There's been a little bit of rumors that say Shai Gilgeous may not want to be, not him himself, but the Thunder are making him available in some trades, and we'll get into some rumor talk here in a moment. But for right now, the team really has a decision to make on Sri Mikhailuk. I don't think bringing Tony Bradley is a big thing that they're going to try to do. Mike Muscala probably not. They're going to bring in these young picks that they have, try to trade up if they can, and really bring everybody back. I personally would think that Sri Mikhailuk would be somebody that they would kind of value. He's pretty young still, and provides another guard for them to work around with. Now, I'm not saying that Mikhailuk is a must bring back if they don't feel like he's worth the money, or if they don't know if the fit is right. Obviously, he can go somewhere else. So this team has a lot of cap space. Now, there is a lot of talk that they could potentially bring in another bad contract and stockpile more picks, but I think something needs to relatively happen, whether that's trading up to get a Cade Cunningham and Evan Mobley, Jalen Green, whoever it may be. They need to make a move that puts them in a position where there's a little bit more kind of a bright future than what they have now. Right now, they have a lot of good, solid young players. They have Shai Gilgeous, who's kind of their star guard of the future, if they decide to keep him. And ultimately, they don't really have too much behind him as far as like another kind of young star or a budding star that they could potentially see in the future as becoming a multi-all-star or anything like that. Or that kind of a talent on their roster doesn't exist outside of SGA. So I think this team just really needs to figure out kind of where they're going. Is there any way that a Kemba Walker trade can happen? The interesting part about that is just that there are going to be point guards available in free agency, relatively in the draft. There is going to be some openness of teams to be able to have these point guards that will become available. So if New York again misses out on the Lowry or Chris Paul or Mike Conley or Lonzo Ball, like if they miss out on somebody, will they trade for a larger contract like Kemba Walker to fall back on? So an interesting thing, and we'll jump right into rumors right now and kind of talk a little bit more about what is currently going on and what the speculation currently is for the Thunder. So let's pull up Hoops rumors here. A report, it looks like Chris Duarte is kind of the Knicks' target. That's not really too much of a surprise. Yeah, here we go. Tony Bradley, they're not expected to extend the qualifying offer, thereby making him an unrestricted free agent at this upcoming season. So so again, we kind of mentioned this. Tony Bradley's not really like a long-term plan. Good young player, had some moments for the Thunder, but they don't look like they're making him a priority for the future. The Thunder have made efforts to try to trade up to 1. So we're hearing so much talk about the Rockets, the Thunder, about teams that are trying to get up to that number 1 spot. Now, I think the consensus feeling is that it's for Cunningham, but there's also a feeling that maybe it's for Evan Mobley, maybe it's for Jalen Green. And the reason Detroit would want to move down is because they could maybe move down to 2 or 3 or figure out something. If Houston and Detroit were to swap 1 and 2, obviously Detroit probably picks up a little bit more future pieces. And if that happens, obviously Detroit can maybe still get their guy at number 2, and Houston guarantees themselves to be able to select the player they want. Let's see here. These sources. Thunder. Let's see. James Bouknight could be the team's pick at 6. Now that's actually really interesting. We didn't really talk too much about the draft. So it sounds like the Thunder are going to try to move up. If they can't, I'm not sure if I'm huge on James Bouknight being at number 6. I just feel like there is maybe an issue with him. He's got good size. Like I believe he's 6'5". He's got good size as an NBA prospect already. And I don't really understand a Bouknight selection at number 6. I feel like you could definitely drop back and get him, and that's another option of what Oklahoma City could definitely do as well. Cavaliers have been talked to by the Thunder, Warriors, Knicks, Raptors about the number 3 pick. Again, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was rumored to be a part of a Pistons deal. And let me see if we can get that pulled up here, because I am interested to see that. There was the rumor that Detroit had turned down an offer for 6 and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And I think a lot of the people in the league were kind of just wondering, like, well, why is Oklahoma City bailing on SGA this early? But yeah, ultimately, I expect the Thunder to still be a rebuilding team. Now, how much they can accelerate their rebuild via moving up in the draft or maybe moving off of some young guys, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander included, that will really be telling to see kind of where they are going into the future. Ultimately, I do see them as kind of a bottom team in the NBA again next year, but maybe they can provide a little bit more highlights with a healthy Gilgeous-Alexander, another year of Lou Dort, another year with all these young guys, and then whoever are their draft picks this upcoming draft. All right, so we're actually going to move on. We are going to talk. Now we have officially finished talking about most of these non-playoff teams. So the next team that we're going to talk about is going to be the Golden State Warriors. So obviously they were in the play-in game. They had the 8 seed. They had the 7 seed, I believe, at the end of the season. No, they had the 8 seed at the end of the season. Played the Lakers in the first play-in game, lost, and then lost to the Grizzlies in Golden State. So, we're going to talk about the Warriors. Feel free to drop by that stream. Feel free to like, comment, and tell me how much I suck, because apparently our Pacers video had a not so nice comment. But tell me what you think the Thunder could do in the offseason that you'd like to see. Again, like the video, comment, subscribe, all those fun things. And let's get started with this Warrior stream.